just like, look, no one loves me, no one likes me, no one wants to be around me. I'm not worth anything, so self-worth comes into it because no one's picking you up on them bad days.
Definitely.
We all need people to go, Kaylin, what's the first thing you said in the podcast? How are you?
Yeah.
That's a very important question that people miss. And it's the first thing you asked, and it's such a beautiful thing because you can say, how are you? And like, yeah, bro, I'm cool. No, seriously.
Yeah,
How are you?
yeah. It's not surface level. I feel like that's a lot of just the small talk that I try and miss. I'm a very deep guy. Like when I talk to people, it's usually deeper than what it's supposed to be. People are like, wow, like you're going too far. But I just don't really enjoy having hi, how are you? I'm good. You? That's it. You know?
One thing I will say with communities, Kaylin, it's not something that you can just pick up and create.
Oh no. It takes a while.
And it takes a lot of, see, the thing is, it takes balance. Because you're in a room with people with different thoughts, different ideas, different ambitions, different goals, and you just got to respect everybody for who they are and accept them. You can bounce new ideas, but look, if I'm in a room with my sister, she's not going to want to talk about business.
No.
But she's going to want to talk about the kids.
Yeah.
How are the kids doing? My little one's doing this. She's going here. The older one's working now. He's driving. And you got to praise them.
It's about being a chameleon. To a
Yes.
degree.
Yes. And it's about just that balance of certain things you don't necessarily wouldn't do, but you have to come out of character to go, look, it pleases that person and that's causing me happiness. And it means we get to eat together, laugh together, enjoy together. But it does take like certain times you don't see eye to eye, but you have to put a blind spot to that. Now with friends, you can say, F off, don't want to know you. With family, you can't really do that.
No.
So when you create these communities, you've got to be very, very mindful that you've got to take the good with the bad. And a lot of people are not willing to do that. There's a my way. If it's not my way, it's no way. I don't want nothing to do with this. Move on. But listen, look, this is why some marriages don't even work, because it's not built on respect. It's built on love.
Yeah.
So respect is really, really important, because when you respect somebody, there's certain principles you have aligned with that person. But when you love with somebody, as soon as that love fades or finishes or it's not there anymore, there's no other reason to make you stay there.
Yeah.
So we got to distinguish the different.
Emotional or logical. I thought definitely those are some things I've had to look at even in my relationships. Sometimes I'm a bit too like, okay, that person has done me dirty in a personal way, and then I'll take it on and I'll stop doing business. Where in reality I should acknowledge how they act and then pick the bits out I need for the business or the productive side of things, and not just think about how I'm feeling. So definitely that's something I'm learning recently and I'm implementing daily. How do you stay motivated as Sean Land? Like to the core, I know you have your family, but there must be some intrinsic.
I think it's always proving that I'm enough.
Yeah.
So going into real estate and property was a belief system put inside me when I saw my dad and my uncle do it.
Yeah.
So when they had the shop and they was in the partnership, when they saved a little bit of money, they bought the shop opposite. And them times they were buying shops for like 30,000 run down.
Yeah.
And I was like, how come you got it so cheap? And they were like, it's broken. I'm like, this is disgusting, bricks and everything. Now I know like this Shoreditch looking sort of style is like the bricks are exposed and this is chic now. But we're talking about, wires hanging down. It was an old butcher shop. And so next minute I'm seeing somebody with mixing plaster, I'm putting plaster on the wall and all of them sort of things. And I'm just like, rah, like this is happening. And then in a few weeks it looks clean, and then new carpet's going down, and I wouldn't mind actually living here. So that belief system was, so what's so tough about buying a rundown house? You've got people to fix it. Or, hey, can you steam the walls and take the wallpaper off? Can you pick up the laminating floor and put it into the skip? And I was giving them tasks to do. So when I was to buy my house, I was like, well, I know how to do this already as a 21-year-old without even doing a course like most people do. So it comes to a point where I've mastered real estate and property. I've I've bought single dwelling houses, HMOs, housing multiple occupancies. I've bought, turned some of these into care homes, serviced accommodations, mastered it. Learned how to create money out of thin air through refinancing. I learned how to uplift values by refurbing. So when you clock the game, there's always a new game that you need to start. You need to change the CD, because I'm doing this easily now with my eyes closed. I don't even need to try. It's like my team's there.
Yeah.
They know who I am. I know who they are. They just need to press a button. All my details come up. The system's there already created. I could be on holiday and probably complete on a house, which could be a dream for people. But then what am I really, really about? Where's my creative side?
Yeah.
What do I love to do? Well, I love enjoying speaking to people,
Yeah,
because I'm a people person. I love being creative. I like to sing sometimes, You heard me humming and singing before, and you're like, why don't you do that on camera? I'm like, no, I'm not doing that on camera. It goes into camera mode sometimes. Even you pick that out. But so these are the things that actually make me happy, because my dad's always sung. And I've heard people go to my dad, Jeff, why are you always singing? And he goes, why? You not happy? And the guy goes, yeah, I'm happy. He goes, be happy, man. When you sing, it shows happiness. And so these beliefs have been put into me like, so when I'm happy, I must sing. When you go on a life of success, bro, and you've had so many adversities, whether it's like bosses put you on a PIP, performance improvement plan, whether building projects have gone wrong and you've made losses, whether I've worked in a shop or McDonald's and been told off for silly little things, like, the motivation comes to just be better. And I think as human beings, we should be better.
Yeah.
And this is what keeps me away from mental health. Because the minute, like, I've had a life of conditioning. And the moment I stop doing working, if I don't get up with a purpose, as human beings, we need a purpose.
Yeah.
We need something, a goal that we're trying to do. If I wake up at 12 o'clock and if I put the TV on and start putting PSP, and then it's 4 or 5 o'clock, and then I'm eating and I haven't even gone out and seen daylight, I couldn't think of anything worse in my life where it could be a dream for other people. I need to get up and I need to be a creator, not a consumer. And there's a clear difference. A creator is somebody who creates something for other people, creates it for his family, friends, the next generation, mentees. Or you can be a consumer and sitting there and scrolling mindlessly and go, ha ha ha, that's funny, that's jokes, isn't it? Ha 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 ha. What did you achieve in your day? Nothing. And it's nothing worse than I can think about going to bed and saying, I didn't even get my 1%. I believe when you wake up in the morning, go and get your 1%. We're not looking at 100. People overestimate what they can do in a short space of time and underestimate what they can do in a long space of time. Yeah. It's just that 1% you're looking for.
So do you say, sorry to cut you off again, so would you say that this hard work 24/7 culture is hindering people, and do you agree that you need some sort of balance?
So picture this. Picture where we're gonna get a train going, yeah?
Yeah.
And when that train, what's the hardest bit? It is getting the train going. So what did them coal miners have to do? They had to shovel and chuck the coal into the fire, and the engine started warming up, and they're pushing it and pushing it and pushing it, and it's like, and it starts going. So the hardest bit is at the start. While the train's going, So you can just a little top
initially you need to put in that graph. That's what you're saying.
100,
so
100.
the balance is off initially, and then you can steer it.
Yeah, and guess what happens when you start something? You gain momentum.
Yeah,
the pendulum starts to swing. So if I'm not working and I start working, guess what I'm also doing apart from earning money? I'm making new relationships, making new friends. I'm forming new bonds. I'm learning of other people who are better than me. What else is happening? I'm going on a train journey. I'm seeing people, at lunchtime. I've got an opportunity. All of a sudden, I'm in new environments. What happens when you change jobs? You meet new people. You meet new environments. It might be a different location. All of a sudden, your demographic changes. I've worked all over London. I've worked in central London for many years. I've worked in Chingford, Gallons Reach, Beckton, Dagenham, and all these areas. It's like sometimes I can go a 1 mile radius here, and there's always somebody I know I can